I'd like to call to order the April 8th, 2021 Addison Township Zoning Board of Appeals to order. It's now 6 p.m. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we have a roll call of the board members.
Bill Marshall. Here. Jay Sandler.
Here.
Ed Brakefield.
Here.
Tony Spina.
Here.
Vice Chair Lawrence Smith.
Here.
Chair Robert DeWitt.
Here. Let's see, next we need a motion to approve the agenda. Do you have a motion from board member?
So moved that we approve the agenda as printed.
A second?
Second. Yeah.
Is a voice vote on this?
Mhm.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody in disapproval?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion passes. Next is, we need a motion to approve the November 12th, 2020 minutes. Do you have a motion for that, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Is there any additions or corrections to it, number meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, our first case on the agenda tonight is the public hearing, and it's case number 21-1. The applicant is John and Joanne Zuzelski.
Correct.
The parcel address is 2101 Rochester Road. Parcel ID is 05.22.476.001. The zoning there is residential, R-1. The parcel size is estimated at 3.1 acres. The applicant seeks a dimensional variance from the Township of Addison Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, Article 4, Section 4.21.1E of the Addison Township Zoning Ordinance. The applicant requests a dimensional variance to increase the approved variance previously granted in case number 99-17 by 263 feet and to place the 1,499 square foot structure, it says here, move existing structure fully in the front yard outside of the central 1/3. Section 4.21 of the ordinance, accessory structures and uses, 4.21.1E, in the case of double frontage and lake lots, such accessory buildings shall be restricted to the central 1/3 of the lot. The central 1/3 of the lot shall be measured from within the lot lines. Lot lines having the meaning as defined in Article 2. Additionally, in the case of lake lots, accessory buildings shall only be located in the side or rear yard. Accessory buildings shall be located closer than 5 feet to the side lot line or 25 feet to the rear lot line. On a corner lot, accessory buildings shall not project into a corner side yard or into the required corner side yard. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Zuzelski, can you confirm that this is the variance that you are asking for?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Would you please address the board on the variance issues and the relief requested? What are you trying to do?
Yes, so we acquired the property about 2.5 years ago, and we've been working with an architect to design a two-story home with a walkout. The ideal place, after consulting with them, as well as doing the topography on the lot, is really right at where the current pole barn is. So our desire would be to relocate it further away from the lake, and towards the center of the woods, that's on the property line, that's in the property, within those variances. So we, a couple of things, we spent some time looking at where the best placement for the barn would be, primarily to minimize loss of trees. These are very, very nice, mature, 50-year-old trees or so. So the idea is to try to salvage as much of those and keep those as much as possible when we move the barn. Also, the topography, keeping it very flat, minimizing any kind of excavating and things that would need to be done to get the barn in that place. Also, we did not want visibility from the road or for the neighbors, make sure that things looked reasonable from that standpoint as far as coverage and aesthetics.
Okay, the next thing we would do here then is, because this is a public hearing, is we would have the board ask you questions.
Yep.
Okay.
So
And if I could just add because the lot, the 3 acres, is kind of long and narrow, the proposed barn location is still 187 feet away from Rochester Road. And there's quite a bit of foliage that's between Rochester Road and the proposed barn location, so it's really kind of hidden fairly well in the property, or at least the best position in the property for Rochester Road and our neighbors, and our people looking down the driveways.
I guess we'll start from my right. Jay, if you could have any questions of the applicant?
One question, when I look at the plan from Rochester Road looking in, what is to the left of your lot? Is there another, is there another home? You know, it doesn't show on the plan. What,
That's,
Yeah.
I'll say vacant land, but that's, this gentleman's actually property on the left.
okay.
Right, Jim's here.
And we did review on Tuesday with Jim. He's
Both
our
neighbors.
southern neighbor and our other northern neighbor to the side. And went out and reviewed the plans with them to make sure that they were, it was acceptable and comfortable with what we were proposing. But
There's
Jim-
no home there, there's no.
Does you have no objection to the,
Well, let me just make a statement. My name is Jim Shendon, and my wife and I are the owners of the property that is immediately to the south of their property. And they were gracious enough to come over to my house and explain to me what they wanted to do. Lawrence Smith probably remembers this since he signed the agreement. I was in litigation with the township a number of years ago, and there was a settlement wherein the township gave me a development agreement for my property. And one of those lots, it extends the entire length of their property to the south. And it's my understanding that according to the drawing, and I guess according to their request, that the building is going to be 28 feet off of the south boundary line. And it is going to be, I believe it's approximate, according to the map that the township gave me, or the drawing that the township gave me, it says it's approximately 187 feet off of Rochester Road. And it's my understanding that because of the zoning classification and its requirements, that it cannot be moved closer to Rochester Road. And if that's the case, then I have no objection to it.
okay.
Okay,
Mr.
me?
Spina? Yep, Mr. Spina, it's your turn.
Okay. Just so I have an idea straight in my head where we're going. Right now on the property, there's a house and a barn.
Correct.
The house is near the lake and the barn is more towards the middle of the property.
Correct.
You're gonna remove both of those.
Correct, relocate the barn, but remove the house, correct?
Relocate the barn.
Well,
Yes.
that's what we're here, that's what we're hoping
The
to,
existing pole barn we want to move, and that's the variance that. we-
Okay, so at the end of this, you'll end up with a house and one barn on the property,
Correct.
Right.
which is what you have now, but it'll be a different house.
Right.
Yeah,
that-
Same
this there
barn.
will be demolished.
Same barn in a different place.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the reason you need a variance?
Because it's lake property, it says that the barn should be in the
Accessory.
backyard, which is between the house and the lake.
Right.
And so that's what the original variance from the original owner
So
was.
the variance on the variance.
And so we're modifying, I guess, that variance to move the barn.
Okay, I'm not sure that's necessarily the only way to do that, but,
That would be great if we didn't, but,
Yeah,
Tony,
yeah,
we're back to my kick about backward
front,
going on.
what's the front yard, the backyard on a lake lot? Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, but I think that's where we're, yeah.
Yeah, we've heard this before.
Yes, we have.
Mr. Speedy, all set?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Smith?
Sir, I understand what's going on, I have no questions right now.
Mr. Rickerfield?
Same.
Same?
Okay, well, one more thing, let me interject. None of this has anything to do with the house. The house meets the setback requirements and the placement requirements and all that.
correct.
correct, the current
Yes.
house.
So the house,
And the proposed future house meets all those.
Correct.
okay,
proposed
so we're only talking
requirements.
about a barn and the location of the barn.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Marshall, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
My one question, are we changing the size or dimensions of the barn? That's it.
Yes and no. I'm adding some, actually eaves to the barn. The barn just kind of had the drip edges that drip
Okay.
along the side and undermine the
Taking the soil.
foundation, so I'm just making it more aesthetically pleasing, adding some eaves on it, like 2-foot eaves, which are on the dimensions of the drawings. And then adding some doors on the side, so I'm able to utilize that. But the doors will actually face our dwelling or our home, not not Rochester Road or the neighbors.
Okay.
They have to be facing north, I guess, a little bit, the side doors.
Correct.
And those are shown on the drawing. But approximately the same size. I think I got a foot to get a door in there. But still.
But it's all under code, it's all within the guidelines or requirements.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board members to the applicant?
None for me.
Okay.
I have a question now. Approximately how far will we be moving the pole barn where it's at now?
From the face of the pole barn,
The current,
the current pole barn from the lake, it's, pull the glasses on.
yeah, then they follow up.
255 feet.
I see the existing house location, but I don't see the pole. barn.
Okay, here, let me just turn it around. So basically, you can almost see it underneath the dark shaded where the
Oh,
proposed house is. There is a barn right at the end of that drive there.
oh,
Yeah, there's a note there that,
Yeah, you can almost see the edge of
the
it.
note on the bottom points to the barn underneath that location. This note here,
okay.
that's the corner of the existing barn, right there.
Oh, okay, and you wanna move it to here?
Yeah, we're just gonna move it, sliding it along the property.
Okay, now, another question. Now, I know we've just discussed this before. In Addison Township, is the front of the house on the lake or is it on the road?
Officially, it's on the road.
According
side-
to the township, it's on the road.
The side that faces the road is the front.
Yeah,
Okay, but for lakes, it's always thought of as the opposite,
Yes,
at least by the residents.
realistically, yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions by the board?
I have a question for Mr. Schindler. Jim,
Yeah.
would this affect your plans in the future for any development you might have for that property?
No, if they do what the request is, no, it shouldn't interfere.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I have a question. Is it okay for us to go out to the property and walk the property and look at the layout?
Sure.
Sure.
And do you want us to call you first, or just go out there by ourselves?
No,
or-
I think it's fine to go.
Yeah, you can go, there's, as a matter of fact, I kind of roped off, there's a little blue rope that,
Blue, yeah.
that
Okay.
shows, where it's at. I'll modify it, because I had some other ones, but I'll rope that off to where the structure is proposed.
And when will that be roped off?
You already had it, right?
Is it already roped off?
It is roped off, but it's, I took the rope a little longer, just in one direction there, so it's not perfectly the bar. It's, we can do that. It'll be done tonight,
Okay.
if it's not raining like cats and dogs.
Okay. Since this is the public hearing segment of the application process, we're going to open it up to the audience now at 6:16 for any public comments from the audience or anybody else here. Okay, seeing nobody else from the public is gonna ask any questions or make any statements, I'm gonna close the public hearing at 6:16 in some seconds.
Okay.
Okay, again, because this is the public hearing part of the application process, we're not gonna take any action this evening. It's the board's, it's the township's policy that we take input from the applicant, and then, next meeting, which will be, what is it, May 6th,
13.
we'll take action on the application. So, that being said, public hearing is closed, and we'll move on to the next items on the agenda. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, welcome. Any correspondence received? I have none. Any other board members have any correspondence they want to share? Nobody speaking up. We'll move on to the next thing then, will be zoning board reports. I have none. Anybody else have any reports? And then, Warren Smith, you're our planning commission liaison, I believe, so do you have any comments?
Planning commission is in neutral right now. Everything that we've had before us has been solved, so we're just waiting for new cases.
All right, that would be the end of our agenda, so I'm asking for a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Motion
Aye.
to adjourn.
Aye.
None in opposition? The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you for attending.